Hello guys, welcome to Online Web Tutor presented by Profotech Solutions team. I am Sanjay. We are learning WordPress Custom Post Type tutorial for beginners and this is part 14. In this video session guys, we will see that how can we register the filter box for custom post type that we have created. And also guys, if you are a beginner to this channel then please watch our previous video session to get the clear concept about WordPress Custom Post Type. So basically guys, in our previous video session, we have made the meta box for our category section. So if I click on add new, so this is the category section that we have registered in our previous video session. Okay, so inside this video session guys, that we want that this drop down that we have saved with that movies, we want that they should make a drop down filter right here. Okay, so how can we make the categories drop down filter right here? So just back to editor, scroll down and let's say that add action. We need to use add action and we have to use called restrict manage post. Basically about this action hook guys, we actually discussed in our previous video session in great detail. Okay, in the second parameter we need to pass the callback function, that is WPL movie category filter box. Okay, so just we have to define this callback function. So let's make copy of that. Let's say function. This is the function name, and inside this function let's declare a global variable called global. This is type now. Just I'm going to copy this type now. Let's say that if type now equal to movie, because inside the movie section means is inside our custom post type that we have created, that is movie. By getting the movie as a custom post type, we need to show this drop down. Okay, so let's say that to make the drop down list guys, we actually seen about the WP drop down pages function. Okay, so if you have not watched our previous video session, means part number 13, this is the function that we have used called WP drop down pages. By passing the post type, it will give the post type details. So just I'm going to copy this function name, go to editor and let's say that WP drop down pages. Inside this function we need to pass some of the parameters, and now inside this array variable, the first parameter that we will pass called post type, because we want that the category post type should appear. In the next parameter guys, we need to pass the name section. Okay, so let's say that name should be something called filter by category. Okay, in the third parameter we need to pass the selected value. Okay, so let's say selected. Right now let's pass selected value as the 0 value. Okay, so for now if we save this file, so just save this file, go to administrator panel and now refresh this page. As we can see that these are the categories that we have created is now appearing as the filter box. Okay, so just back to editor. Let's add another parameter, that is show option none. Let's say show option none. Okay, so basically this will add another value, let's say that select category. So if we save this file, go to browser, reload this page, and now as we can see that the select category is the show option and values, and these are the categories that we have saved. Okay, so next what we want that while clicking Bollywood section, click on filter, that it will give all the movies that we have saved inside that category. So right now it is not working because we didn't code of that. Okay, so just back to editor. For that we need to use a filter hook, that is add filter and something called parse query. About this filter hook guys, we actually learned in our previous video session. Okay, another parameter we need to pass the callback function, so let's say WPL parse query category. Just we have to define this callback function, so just I'm going to copy that and let's say that function, this is the function name that we have created. Inside this function we are going to write our parse query section. So basically it will take a parameter that is query. Okay, so we have to pass some of the global parameters to check, something called type now. Let's pass another variable called page now. In the next parameter we need to actually retrieve the value of category ID. Okay, so just I'm going to copy again on all movie section. As we can see that there is no query string attached with this URL right now. Okay, so if I copy this URL, just back to editor, open a new tab, this is the URL. Okay, with no query string instead of this post type. Okay, just back to browser. If I click on Bollywood filter, and now if I copy this URL, just back to editor, let's pass that. So this contain a ID called filter by category. This is the name that we have passed right here. As we can see, filter by category, this is the name section of this WP drop down pages. So by the help of this filter by category, we actually retrieve the category ID from this URL. Okay, so just I'm going to copy this filter by category back to editor, and let's say that category ID it's set, let's say that get, we need to retrieve this integer value of that. Okay, so just I'm going to copy and pass inside this int val function. Okay, or let's make empty value. Okay, so if I save this file, just we need to check some of the values by using if condition. So let's say if type now equal to movie, because we are going to filter out the movie section. Okay, next we have to check something called page now equal to this gives the page file. Okay, so basically we have opened the edit.php, as you can see, edit.php file. Okay, so basically page now contains the value of called edit.php. So we need to check that while making filter of this filter box, we have to check that the post type should be movie, and now the page should be edit.php, and also we have to check that category ID should not be empty value. Okay, so let's say that is not empty. Okay, by satisfying all these values, that is page now, type now, and the category ID, we need to filter out the movies inside this block. So let's start to make use of this query variable. So just I'm going to copy query, and this contains an object called query vars. Okay, it will take the some values, something called meta key. Basically guys, as you have remembered from the previous video session, so this is the meta key that we have registered to save our category ID and something called movie category selected. Okay, so just I'm going to copy, this is the meta key that we have registered to save the category section related with that movie. Okay, now inside this meta key we need to pass the meta key that we want to actually show. Okay, this is the meta key. In the next parameter we need to pass the meta value, so that is query vars, and now inside this query vars we need to pass the meta value. Okay, and this meta value should be an integer value, and now this integer value contains the category ID. Okay, so just I'm going to copy integer category ID, let's pass right here. So if I save this file, go to browser, reload this page, so as we can see that there is no movie selector right now. Let's select some of the movies from this drop down. So let's say cartoon. So basically this cartoon section contains a movie called movie 3. Okay, let's pass Hollywood. This contains the movie 2 option. Okay, so let's pass another movies. So let's say movie 5. This contains the value in cartoon section. Just I'm going to publish. Let's add another movies. Let's say that movie 6. This is in Hollywood section. So if I go to all movie section, let's pass called cartoon filter, and now this cartoon section contains the 2 movies. All we have to do, we have to make the selected filter box as the selected value that we have select. Okay, so just I'm going to go inside this editor. This is the drop down that we have created. So right now selected does not contains any of the value. Okay, so first of all we have to take the ID from the query string that we have passed inside this filter by category. Okay, so just I'm going to copy this. Let's say that category ID equal to age set. This is the category guide ID that we are retrieving from the query string, and now we need to retrieve this value from the URL. Okay, so basically it will be integer value. Okay, so just pass that. Instead of this, let's pass 0 value. Okay, so just we have to copy this category ID and pass here. All we have done now, we have retrieved the filter by category from the URL section, stored inside this variable, and now this is variable we have passed inside this selected attribute. Okay, so just saving this file, reload this page, and now as we can see that the cartoon has been now selected. If I click on Hollywood, now as we can see that the Hollywood is now selected, and these are the 2 values that we have filtered. Again I'm going to click on South Indians. This is the movie that we have created inside this category, and this is the selected value. So these are the things guys that we have studied inside this whole video playlist called WordPress Custom Post Type. All it contains all the basic concepts about the custom post type, how can we use custom post type, and how we can make use of custom post type in plugin development. Okay, in the next video session guys, we will see that how can we show these post type details that we have created inside our administrator panel to our front end pages. Means we want to show all these informations of custom post type to the front end pages. Okay, so in this video session guys, if you have any query, then please drop your comment. I will give my reply as soon as possible. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day.